You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
I don't understand why you're thinking of you had me at alone. I don't understand why you're thinking of you had me at alone. I don't understand why you're
tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the next big thing, the latest up-and-coming sports journalist, your host, Nathan Snell.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Haney, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell, Big Day Sports Talk Podcast. This is episode 17, season 18 of the podcast. In this episode, we're talking Maryland men's basketball. Before we get into this, three things I want to say up front. You should now have already seen the NFL Conference Championship recap. I needed to actually take a couple, about an hour, 45 minutes to actually calm myself. Just go ahead and look at that video if you're not already. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe for future content. After this episode is done, I'm going to record episode 18. My women's basketball team getting ready to play Iowa tomorrow. The men are on the road. Let's just get right into it. So last time you saw me, we were coming off the win against Iowa, 69-67. And we were getting ready for Nebraska. And we did our thing. We won our second straight game. We won the final score 73-51. It was a home game for us. We looked pretty good. That's probably the most proudest I've been of our young men for most of the season. What stood out to me was our bench. We didn't extend the bench Saturday, but we didn't need to. When you're getting Jamie Kaiser and Jameer Long, they had combined 25 points. That's the most bench points we've scored the entire season. My keys was also, if you paid attention, was rebounds. We did that. Especially, that we got a tiebreaker with Nebraska. I thought that was big because we're now fifth. And I think that'll help us, especially when if we can really get, especially with getting ready for the Big Ten tournament, because we were looking to be a low 4 seed. Now with the tiebreaker, we're the 5th seed, so that could make some things shake for us. So I like that. I really thought for the most part we did pretty good. When you winning by 22 at home, that's not you can't sneeze at that. We were down 10 early. Let's not forget about that. But he went to the freshman. Deshaun Harris-Smith, last 3 games he's had a combined 11 points. Jamie Kaiser, he's had donuts in each of the last 4 games. But hey, Jaheer Long and both of them did all the right things. For 20 minutes, they looked pretty good. When your number's called, you go out there, you do your thing. Harris Smith, he made his presence felt real early. He was 3 or 4 from the field, hit a couple assists. they contributed. They did play 20 minutes combined, but it definitely gave Maryland some spark. I liked, again, this was kind of the key outside of, Juju and Jahir Young. I need others to step up, and I saw that. Julian Reese looked like a man again, a man amongst boys on the defense on the rebounding plays. Now Nebraska, they made their first 5 or 6 threes. That's their kind of style of play. We responded. I was curious to see how we would look. We did hold them to just 7 points in the last 10 minutes as when the offense took over. Juju had 10 of their 30 paint points, especially at that point. He had a 5 at the free throw line. And when you're looking at Nebraska, you look at the entire freaking game, they only had 12 points in the paint.
Mm-hmm. I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
I think we did all the right things. They turned the ball. They turned the ball over. Nebraska, speaking, they turned the ball over 19 times. There's a reason why they're the number one defensive. They're the number one defensive team in the Big Ten, Maryland. And it speaks on things like that. Coming on 8 turnovers. It was interesting. Not even 4 minutes to the second half, Julian had his 12th rebound. Finished with 16. Last now 4 of his 6 games, he's now had a double-double. So that's what now 10 on the year. Fred we checked them in every category for the most part. That's what great basketball looks like. And for the most part, I'm really proud of what we did out there. That was probably one of the most complete games from everybody. We're going to need more of that, especially when we get ready in more Big Ten play. Again, when you're at home, I think that gives the role players more confidence. It gives everybody confidence. I felt like you had to come out aggressive and beat them. Look, give them Nebraska, they punched us right in the mouth. We give it right back to them. And 43 rebounds on the day compared to their 25. We had 18 second chance points. We were 17 3 advantage on the offensive rebounds. Hey, look, and also too, on the defensive side too, give Jordan Geronimo him credit too. I mean, he had 2 early blocks and 3 first half steals, little things like that. So I'm really proud of this team and what they're looking like. But for the most part, the biggest thing was you had to take something away from Nebraska. We dared them to shoot the ball, and especially when you have the third worst 3-point shooting percentage. The biggest thing was most of our opponents have taken the lane from us and dared us to shoot the ball. And we were ready for that challenge, and we took it. So this was going to be – let's just get right into it. We're getting ready for Michigan State. You already know what happened. Last time we faced them, that was less than 2 weeks ago. We lost. We were down 61-59. We looked pretty good in that game. If you remember, Jameer had got the rebound, turned the ball over before he could get a winning shot. And now we know in that game we had turned it over 18 times. You already seen the recap from me on that one. We looked pretty good shooting the ball. I think we were shooting 42% from the field, about 36% from 3, if I remember correctly. Jameer had 19, Dante had 16, Juju had 10 points. And he also had another double in that game, 3 blocks. Michigan State shot almost 44% from 3, just had 8 turnovers. I think this is a different team from last time since then. When you look at us, I think I'm hopeful that this is a game where you can these last 2 games are something you can definitely build off on. Especially the Iowa game and again the Nebraska game. Michigan State, they have lost. They did lose to Wisconsin, the number 6 coming in, the number 6 at the time. They were 81-66, and then beating Michigan 81-62. Interesting. So Tyson Walker's doing his thing. So we got to contain him. I think he's going to be the key for me against this one. Because the last game he had 15 points. So he's just been last few games. Look at the stats; he's averaging almost under 12 points a game. So gotta look good. My keys for us, due to injuries, and I think just the rotation, the same thing. Same thing, kind of what I know. I'll talk about it with the women's side of the team for Maryland. Because at the start of the season, we had 11 players, and Big Ten play, it's a bloodbath, hypothetically speaking. There's injuries and different things like that, but I think he's found himself a good rotation, especially his last 3 games. Jamie and Jahir are the only really guys coming off the bench are receiving consistent minutes, and with those two, combining at 12 and 25 points, I expect him to continue to use those guys. I think I'm curious to see how we're going to look from 3. I think they're going to dare to shoot the ball. So I'm curious to see how we're going to look, how we're going to attack the paint. I expect them to make us work for every point, especially in the paint. I do expect us to get going early, need to become out aggressive, punch them in the mouth. Look for their defense to set the tone. I expect Michigan State this defense to set the tone. And I do expect us to respond on defense. I expect the game to be close like last game. I do expect that. I don't expect it to be very one-sided, but I do expect it's going to come down to a couple things. Making shots and limiting the turnovers. That's key. If Maryland does those things, Maryland can definitely upset Michigan State. So I'm not concerned. I don't expect it to be a blowout. I do expect these teams to for two halves to give it their all. We're going on the road. They're going to have the crowd behind them. We got to be ready for that. Let's take the crowd out the game and let's play Maryland basketball. Let's get to the foul line. Let's get them in foul trouble early. Let's not be afraid to hit a couple. Let's not be afraid to start, being aggressive to shoot a couple threes, but also to set the tone with defense. You're the number 1 ranked defense for a reason. Make them earn their shots. Make a guy like, for example, as I said, AJ Hoggard or Jaden Atkins, Tyson Walker. Make them earn their shots. Period. I expect Jameer, Juju, Dante. I expect them to go out there and do their thing. But the bench, they have confidence. I expect us to play great basketball. I'm going to say that we're going to beat Michigan State on the road. I'm going to say 65-59.
Guaranteed.
Michigan State is going to give us their all. It's going to be a great game. I don't expect much, but the biggest 2 things I'm looking to see, how we come out the first 10 minutes of the game, and also 2, our bench. Those are my 2 top keys, but more importantly, scoring production as well. That's something I have underlined on my keys to victory 3 times. Outside of Jameer, Dante, Juju, who else is stepping up, especially with the rotation he's had the last few games. Defensively, matchups, not be afraid to throw a zone in there a couple times, but also to not be afraid to throw a double team. Like I said, make them earn every point. And also to limiting foul trouble. Get them in foul trouble. Get to the free throw line. Those are things I want to see. So, that's pretty much it. So I'm super stoked. This game should be great. I can't wait for it. It should be. I think they'll be ready for them. They're definitely gonna be ready. So they're on the road and they have the confidence. They'll be ready. So I don't have one final thought. I'm gonna save that. My one final thought was already used with the Ravens, and I'm kind of already checked out with with them. So I don't have one final thought for you guys, other than hey, go Terps. It's gonna be a big weekend for both the men and women's teams, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great game of basketball. Great basketball games. Can't wait. So with that being said, that's going to conclude this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all future content. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Stay safe, and I'm out. Peace. Stay out.
It's Friday night and I hit up the crew. Grab the keys, jump in my ride, cruise the town and find something new. Hit the club, the DJ's got the dance floor in a groove, and none of that compares to when I turn around and saw you. I can't understand it, girl. How you do the things I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, hey, all I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you. The moment that I saw your face, I knew I wasn't leaving till I got a chance to know you. But I'm still nervous, trying not to lose my cool. So I'm stuck sitting watching you. I don't know what to do. Can't understand. Oh, yeah. How you do the things I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, all I wanna do is dance with you.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the next big thing, the next up-and-coming sports journalist, Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I wanna thank you. All I wanna do is say thank you for everything you do.